Alrighty, guys, and this should be the last of it. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm healed. I think I've touched every issue and made every point. And again, if it wasn't so deliberate, it would just be we got together, it didn't work out, and we broke up. But this person deliberately pursued, knowing what he was into, knowing what he was up to, and just took it to the extreme. Just took it to the extreme. Made me change my life, knowing he had bad intentions. And, he's out of my life for the most part. I still have to go through the process of divorce, which sucks because the marriage was so unnecessary. I don't even know the purpose of it. But again, just going over. And the name of this is The Reason I Left the House. And this is the tax junkie after he's told her to hurry up with his taxes and to come up with some money because he's got to get his own place ASAP. I was just told I was homeless. And she goes, what the fuck? Here goes that bipolar shit. So she's assisting him with this whole narrative about me being bipolar. Having only met me in the passenger seat when he goes and takes her supposedly working. But it's a whole relationship. So again, it was just him clowning me. This is the supposed lesbian that he's telling her, the one that he hit me about, August the 23rd, when I saw the text message and he's telling everybody, all I'm saying is hi to this woman, and it's just, she just buy weed from me. He's telling her, I really like you a lot and I always have, but I was married, but I'm not married. He's asking her to come to the house. She's telling him she's not coming in the bad weather. And he's saying he really wanted to spend some time with her. I really like you. I always have, but I was married, but I'm not married anymore. Nor do I have a girlfriend. Mind you, this is during our supposed makeup where I'm supposedly going back to the house. January. So I'm only going from the house 10 days. Um, dropping off a couple orders, and I'm headed your way. Can you put something in the mailbox? And I'll leave the card. This is the time where he told me he wasn't going to buy the stamps. I told him just to loan her the money. We don't need all of them stamps. Well, um, he got them anyway. And of course, again, more drugs in the mailbox, and he's telling me I'm crazy and it's not true. This is somebody in Athens. This is 4 days after we were married. He's wanting to know if he can meet and tell her how to maximize herself. This is a heroin addict. January the 4th. And I had just left the house. I was still moving. So he already had her there. And already he's saying he can't find his money. And she's telling him maybe I have it. But I'm crazy. And he's sleeping with her too. She subsequently OD'd in March, but she bounced back because he's been with her since he lived here in my son's house. He moved here April the 7th, and he left here May the 3rd. So she OD got out of the hospital, and he's been with her. This is May. This is, we were in the house for 2.5 months, and he's already telling somebody I'm his crazy girlfriend. He doesn't know how long I'm going to be around. And while I'm telling him, I can sense that he's telling me he's crazy. This is you too, Carrie. You left here saying it was too hard. Now you're having a hard time. We've already been through that. Um, and when I left, I told them, I know everything that's going on, and it's just I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna be able to watch you live your life and just hush and be a good girl. Because even when I do that, when you come home high, you're still agitated. So there's still a fight. So no matter what I tolerate and put up with, I'm dying. I'm not eating. I'm not sleeping. I'm shaking. I'm everything. And you're still finding a way to make this whole thing my fault. Like our entire life together should not have been surrounded by you and your drugs and your drug addict friends. Like, what happened to the life we're supposed to have? This is more Sarah, the dope fiend. It's there unless she took it. Nobody's been here but you. You probably overlooking it. I've been up all night. I don't steal. I'm broke as fuck all the time. Why would I bite? Why would I take from the hand that feeds me? Um, this is in November during the eye surgery. He's asking if you're gonna be gone the rest of the day. And I think she came by the house anyway, or she called me or something. And she said, I thought you wasn't driving. And he's saying, I didn't, but she drove me. So that's when you'll see me in the car. I'm telling you, there's something suspicious at the bank. Um, so my gut was right. It was her looking for him to get dope, and I'm driving. This is him telling the dope fiend tax addict, I know my whole life is changing. I'm home. She's been staying gone a lot. It's not true. Um, this is the night that um, I started packing, and you'll hear me going off. And he started recording me, and he's telling her it's World War III around there. And she's telling him she can stay. He can stay at her house, just park in the garage. He's saying that he can't leave because I'm packing. She's saying, "What the hell? Will she hurt you? Do you need one?" Um, Cause she would bring him crack too. He's saying, "Stay alert. She'll be gone by tomorrow." She says, "Okay, hit me if you need me." And all of this is going on in my house. And he's fussing at me about being insecure. And these are just customers. These are all clearly his people. Um, this is the girl by the mall, the lesbian that he hit me in the face for. She's telling him that she's in the hospital um, on the 8th. And he's asking, can you talk? So this is when I'm leaving. So March the 13th, she's saying, text me the address. He texted her the address. 2 minutes, she says she's on the way. I was at the house the next day cleaning up, so she may have been the one that brought the bra there. This is the heroin addict pulling up to the house December the 26th, getting dope out of the mailbox. This is him. Clearly one of them girls have threatened me because he says it won't be me that does anything to you. Got nothing but love for you. And I said, my heart was the most precious thing to me. So you've already done the worst that anybody could ever do by telling me it wasn't worth anything. And I'm not saying this for sympathy, but I'm good. I'm just saying, just try. I'm just trying not to harden my heart and trying not to be that person. This is another text message. That just shows how selfish you are. That I'm the one displaced because you chose your addicts over me. And you're asking me why I think it should be on your dime. As if you did this whole thing by yourself. And I'm glad you feel like you did it by yourself. That way, when I take my part away, you can do it over by yourself. And that way, once you finally, and that way, you don't have to give anybody any credit because for once, you'll finally have done it all by yourself. Why you think you're in survival mode, you're driving your foot in every back that tries to help you. Um, I understand I'll be lonely. And this is a text message that we're sending back and forth to each other. This was, I believe, in December. I'll be lonely, but time heals all wounds. And I want you to be the happy person I fell in love with. I don't remember the last time I saw that part, and I'm sorry that it went like this. I said, being lonely is the reason I'm leaving. I didn't come here to be lonely, and that's what I've been, except for the public displays of affection. You have a lot of people that, um, and something I was going to say that'll make sure that you ain't lonely or something. This text is in Orlando, where he's telling me not to spend the $60 that I bought groceries with. This was on my girlfriend's birthday, December the 28th. You need to worry about being, October the 28th, sorry. You need to worry about being a good wife and a friend to your husband. You ask me for liquor and money. You smoke all the weed all week, all the weed you need to smoke, and your husband is sitting here not sexually satisfied. That ain't gonna work. He would always complain about not being sexually satisfied, but like I said, John, we're married and we sleep right next to each other. But most of the time, he uh, didn't go to bed when I went to bed, or he'll say he fell asleep, or he was tired or something. There was always a reason, but he was clearly sleeping with everything that moved, and I made that point to him. This is December the 28th, right in the midst of an argument. He ran out, supposedly went to mail the white boy some pills, and then here go the white boy showing up to the house. So, not sure what that was about. This is us in Orlando. Where are you? The room. This is me about rehab. This is the travel party that never happened because we never got along well enough to have a travel party, and he really didn't want to do anything couplesy. May 21st. That was also when he was telling the woman that Carrie was his crazy girlfriend, and he didn't know how long it was going to last. So that explains why we weren't getting along. This picture is where he slammed my hand in the door. We were arguing, and he took off running. So I didn't get it, so I took off running behind him, and he ran in the room, and as I was going in the room, he slammed the door with my hand in it. So that's my hand swollen. This is maybe a month after we were living together, one of the sex wipes, and I asked him what it was, and he claims that it had been in his car. Remember, I picked the BMW out in September, and it was in my name. He was telling me that it had been in the car since then, and he swore on his mother's grave that he had not been with anyone since I purchased the car up till, I think this was maybe March I found this. Again, not true, but he had tons of them, guys. Tons of them, tons of the blue sex pills. And this isn't an old bottle. This bottle was ordered here at my son's house. Remember, he only stayed at my son's house April the 8th through May the 3rd. These are dated April the 15th. And there are 10 of them gone. So he was popping. So that's entitled The Reason I Left the House. Don't save. I don't know what changes I made. Let's go and see. These are the lies since he's been here. Remember, he's been here April the 8th. From April the 8th to May the 3rd. Let's see what this. Oh, this is Shaquilla. This is the girl he's seeing in Atlanta. Okay, just call me back. I don't know what's wrong, but not really. This was he was here. So I don't know if we had to go somewhere or what was going on, but this was during our supposed, like our last hitched effort to make amends in our marriage. You left me outside, but God is good and I'm okay now. Can't wait outside for you to show up. I'm leaving soon. Back home later, sweetie. And then he called her, and then he says, I'm here. So wherever it was, he showed up late, but he showed up. Are you out and about in Gwinnett? Um, can you get a room for 2 hours or funny dip? If not, that's fine. Can you get a room for 2 hours or I'm finna dip? If not, that's fine. And that's Shaquilla. That's January the 10th, guys. So keep these dates in mind. That's January the 10th. And that's the girl in Atlanta. So we already saw January the 8th. He was with the girl by the mall. And I left on the 7th. I left January the 4th. That night, the heroin addict was in the house. That's when he accused her of stealing the money. And then January the 8th, he was with the girl by the mall that he hit me in the face for. And then January the 10th, he was getting a room with this girl in Atlanta for 2 hours. This is April the 25th. Now, April the 23rd, we were at the Hawks game. That's the picture with us with Pastor Lee from the church. April the 24th, he was in Brazelton with the white girl. And then April the 25th, he was in Atlanta with this girl. And the next night, we went to another basketball game, trying to save our marriage, trying to repair our marriage. And he's living here in my son's house after I've had to go and clear out the house because April the 5th, he had booked a cruise that he forgot to go on. So April the 6th, he was in Orlando. The 7th, he was in a different hotel. And the 8th, he was back here. Back here with me. I'm here now, but I go to the transit center and meet you there. I can get the Sugar Hill bus. It's okay. I'll be about an hour. I gotta take care of some business. This is that was Shaquilla. They were in Atlanta. That was Tuesday before he left. That was when he came here. I think that was I want to say the 3rd, May the 2nd or 3rd. No, happy hour is over. This is his ex-wife. She asked if he's still drinking. He said, no, happy is hour is over. I'm just reflecting on where I am. Just thinking that I'm all alone by myself, but I'm content. And that was a long time coming because she remembers she picked him up. He was living with the roommate. He had got arrested on his 3rd strike. The roommate said he had to go. And he was just pushing weed at the time. So she got all of his things and took him to her house, according to him. And that's how they ended up together. So he's telling her now that he's all alone and he's content. He's doing things by himself, but he's not. This is, he's actually living here at my son's house because this is after this may be a day or two before the cruise. So this was the little bit of time he was in the house. but he couldn't get the lease renewed. But she's trying to get her husband back. She says, I need a one-on-one session. I have a few more questions. And he says, okay. She says, and you also need to come and get this food. He said, okay, I'll see you later. That was April the 12th. He's trying to get her to join the travel business, but he's already here, living here about 4 or 5 days. And he's seeing all those other people. This is Brazelton Valley Resort on April the 24th, asking him how his room was. And this is April the 24th also. The tax junkie asking him to bring her a 30 at her job. And he's telling her he's in Brazelton. And he's talking in the text, and so she thought he said Brazil, but he's in Brazelton with the white girl. Okay, and this is him here, I believe it is. I'm not sure. Let's see. Thank you for being a friend, but I never. Yeah, so he's living here, but by now I know about all the women still. He's heavy. He's like making my son's house hot with the traffic. The dude from Florida, just Zach, has already come here, and it's just getting ready to be too much. So by now, I'm just trying I just want him to go at this point, but I don't know, where his head is at. So this is the conversation that we had. And I told him, I was just trying to be a friend. But he says, thank you for being a friend, but I never wanted to come there. You painted a picture of us being on one accord and saving money, and you would help contribute towards the bills and working to pay down our credit. I paid to have your car fixed, which was $350, guys. So it wasn't like it was a major deal. But he did pay $350 to have my car fixed after I found us both a mechanic. He was about to pay $2,100, but I found somebody to do it for $350. And he also used my car because his was broken too. Anyway, down your credit, I paid to have your car fixed, and you didn't do anything but hang out at Mary's and Charlene's. Mary's is the only place that I go. I have not been to Charlene's house, but that was his go-to. And then he says, but that wasn't the thing. You still have insecure feelings about me and no trust. I've never been with anyone or tried since I've been there. Now, mind you, I showed you the dates as he was here. He was with 3 people on the between the 24th and the 25th. And that's just the 3 text messages that I've seen. It's no telling. He's got a lot going on. So, but he's saying, but that wasn't the thing. You still have insecure feelings about me and no trust. I've never been with anyone or tried since I've been there, but you didn't believe me. And it's all good, baby. I wish you success and happiness. I just want my things with no problems. And that's fine. This is, I think, May the 1st or the 2nd. I said, John, you're talking stupid. It don't work. I just agreed to keep you calm. And I was just telling him, I know you've changed and all of that. Clearly he hadn't changed. He once I let him know that, or he admitted to me about his substance abuse, not that it was okay with me, but what I told him was, I'd rather you be at home so that you're safe and you don't feel like you have to go the extra mile and hide and get in trouble. But I said, I just agreed with you to keep you calm. I said, you're still complaining, and I saved you. The $1,200 that you paid, I gave you $950 of it. And this $1,200 was a fraction of what you would have paid had I not saved you. You fucked everything. Um, you fucked everything moving that would fuck you back. And y'all excuse me. And that would take your money. We both knew. We both knew that. And I told you that was okay. But when I didn't react, you went overboard because he knew that I knew what he was doing. And then he started to antagonize me. Like, I know I disgust you, and I know you don't want to be with me. And I know, and I kept saying, like, John, you're just trying to start an argument, honey, because you're uncomfortable. Just relax. Like, I'm not going to argue back with you, but I get what you're doing. He would still, like, it was bad. I think you're just trying to make me look small to make yourself look big. What am I doing, John? I said, but when I didn't react, you went overboard, fucking bitches in the backyard, and I'm talking about at the house, in the back of the subdivision. You left the wrong phone here. And that's what I was telling him. When he left his phone here, that's what, I went through it because he gave me the password. And when I went through it, that's where I get all of the validation, all of the text messages, everything that we argued about, I'm crazy, I'm insecure, was actually happening. And it was even worse than I thought it was. I said, you left the wrong phone here, but I told you that. You got angry at me for telling the truth. I told you I delivered it wrong because it came to me as a shock, but I knew what you were doing the whole time. Let's see. Wrong. Let's see. Something wrong. You sent the police to my son's house. That shows just what a lack of respect you have for anybody, and that's why people leave you on your ass like they do. I was the last of the Mohegans, but I get it. And the reason because that is he was telling me that he did have somebody to co-sign for the house, but they backed out. The other person didn't qualify, so everybody pretty much just left him there. Nobody helped him pack. They were coming over fucking. They were coming over getting high. They were coming over leaving their mark, but nobody helped him pack or anything. So that's how I found him. Again, everybody turned their back on me. Nobody loves me. I don't have nobody. I don't have no people or anything. So then when I said, you fuck everything that'll take your money, blah, 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 he says, you're talking about the past, and I'm talking about in the last 8 weeks. Well, guys, I don't know what 8 weeks he's counting, but 8 weeks from April goes back to what? February? So we already know what was going on February. We saw what was going on in March. Hell, he started having women at the house in January. He asked me for the keys the day that I went back to sign the title. I still had things in there. This woman was already at the house. So he says, I'm talking about the last 8 weeks anyway. We passed that now. I text you and I said I was there. Don't play games. I text you to let me in. No reply. So I said I would call the police and still no response. I said, it's recorded. They didn't know why you left so quick either. He said, so I didn't know what else to do. I just wanted my things. He said, you know why I left. Don't play stupid. He left because he called the police on me while he drove over here to let him into my son's house when I was on the way downstairs to let him in. But at that point, he had left his phone here and he was panicking. And I was on the phone actually speaking with his ex-wife, but I was walking downstairs to let him in the house. Before I could do that, he had called the police and pulled off. So by the time I got there, he wasn't there. But while I'm sitting at the table talking, the police drive up and they say he called us, but he's gone. We don't know. He came to get a bag, but we don't know why he's gone. And I said, I know he don't want y'all to give me this bag either. I said, anyway, You know what I was doing. The same way you knew, the same way I knew you were on the way back here to get your phone. Because he was talking to the ex-wife. She told me he was on the way back to get the phone, so he knew I was on the phone with her. That's why he called the cops. He was straight in panic mode. And I said, please play games with somebody else. And this is the note that I wrote to go with this. John moved to my son's house on April the 7th after the Hawks game that he was late to because he flew back from Orlando after missing the cruise he had planned for himself instead of arranging to move out of the house where the lease was up and he couldn't find another viable roommate. And the leasing office would not let him renew the lease without me on his own. He contacted me on March the 16th talking about building his team and getting serious about travel. He immediately reactivated my Evolution account and even had 2 tickets to regionals in Atlanta that Saturday. I'd learned that while I was gone, by this time it was easier to accept responsibility for the breakdown in our marriage because I left instead of staying and working on it. He'd done everything and everybody he wanted to do in the house, and I even made the point that I wasn't wrong about my gut feelings, I just delivered it wrong. A part of me wanted to walk away, and I did leave one night when I knew someone had been there the day before, even though we were supposed to be talking about reconciliation. But he said I was running away, and I knew he wasn't going to vacate the home without my help. So I went back and I told him I was prepared to forget everything and move forward. Fast forward, he's back and he's living at my son's house, and I'm doing everything in my power to make him comfortable. I'm also walking on eggshells, making sure to avoid conflict because by now he's admitted to buying 1 crack rock, and the girl that was there at the house has overdosed on heroin that she got from him and was in the hospital. He'd also been kicked out of the pain clinic that was treating his back because they found cocaine and fentanyl in his system. I could not see my friend go back to the struggles he told me about since we'd been together. I was hoping the shock of losing so much would make him realize he needed help, at least allow him to see the people that he was associated with were not going to allow him to grow. None of that happened, and his habits were so severe. Once I told him that I was aware and I was going to love him instead of judging him, he stopped hiding it, and he was higher and angrier than ever. Although I was careful not to respond to his actions and his words, he insisted nothing had changed from the house. He didn't want help. He didn't think he had a problem. Making money with travel was not going to happen either, since he was hiding his agents because they all have long drug histories or ties, and certainly the ones he was still sleeping with. So I'll just give him the opportunity to get his bearings and move on. Clearly, what's best. But you've got to respect my son's house. He told me I was crazy when I said he disrespected ours. But look, we lost it. We no longer have it. Hindsight, he left his phone when he ran out one night. Everything my gut told me was happening at the house was, and was about to start happening at my son's house. He has no respect for my son or me, so he was getting reckless. My whole point, and the point where when he left was as an addict. My whole point and the point where we went left was as an addict, he should not be dealing with the substances that he struggled with, and that the people that he associated with still openly suffered from abuse. Like, why would you sell a heroin addict if they just got out of rehab and you just stopped doing it because you got tired of falling on your ass? Y'all gonna pull each other back, and that's what happened. The same with crack. If you're not strong enough to protect or stand up for your home, you should stay single. and be honest about what it is that you really want to do. And that's something that I've always told him. Like, John, we don't have to get married. Like, at this point, I can still do whatever it is you got me here to do, whether it's your business or whether it's a cover up or whether it's a roommate. Just let me know, friend, what's really going on. But I'm telling you, this is not going well, and I am not going to be dragged. But he continued to lie and make my gut reaction the problem in our marriage. Even with the offer of, do you, he still came to my son's house gaslighting and pretending when it wasn't necessary. Even in his last text, he said that we came here with the I came here with the notion of us moving forward. How do we move forward when you didn't like you're yeah, you reactivated my account, but then you decided you weren't going to buy me a ticket to the convention this weekend. Okay, that's fine. When your people come in to train, the people that you can let me see, because clearly you can't let me see all your people, because guess what? Here's the travel team, guys. It's the Lisa, the one you'll see the text messages. She's back on the team and she's on auto pay. Well, that's who he gets his Xanax from. And yes, she was one of the girls he slept with. Rakithia. That's who she buys so much dope from him that he's got her. That's the one that gave him left all the stilettos at the house. That he used to take dope to her house and leave it. He's got her code to her alarm code. And this is the one in 2019 when he was with the other wife. She would come and buy drugs out of that woman's yard, out of the flower box. He'd leave the gate open for her. TV, that's him. Terrence, that's the guy from the barbershop who, from 2019, they had some kind of, don't put that on Facebook. I don't put nothing on Facebook. Well, they reconnected. And Sharon is Terrence's friend, but he was so new that he allowed her to sign up under John. Now, those two are with him this weekend in Vegas. And this Nicole person, they signed up May 11th. However, that email address has been on his desk at our home. So I don't know who Nicole is, but it's been on his desk the entire time we lived there. Tangi Williams, that's the ex-wife, y'all. He got her. Remember, she needed one-on-one. Well, clearly she got it because there she is. And voila, KRC. That is T. McKinnon. That's the tax junkie. Yeah. That's the girl from the Jaguar, the one, bring me a pill. Oh, your wife bipolar, bring me a pill. You can stay at my house and park in the garage, bring me a pill. So, yeah. Surely, and these are I'm supposed to be the trainer for these people. So I took the video down, the training video. It's my face. That's crazy. And it's my work. It's my intellectual property. If you're going to be vetting these people, you need to know what you're doing. And plus, why your ex-wife want to look at me training travel? So yeah, that was crazy. Anyway, my whole point again was, as an addict, you shouldn't be dealing with substances and people that are on substances. And he continued to lie, make my gut reaction the problem in our marriage. Even when I said, do you, he came to the house gaslighting and pretending. So fine. 15 months, it didn't work. Move on, right? Since he's supposed to be done, he has called the police on me twice, saying I illegally locked him out. So the first time he called the cops, he told them that he wanted his bag. So I said, that's fine. Come and get the bag. But because he didn't have a driver's license, He didn't come back to the house that night. I guess it dawned on him that was a dumbass idea. But when he came back the next day, because when he texted me, um, um, he came back the next day and I said, bring the ex-wife. Surely you ain't gonna come in here and try nothing, because at this point, you've already put your hands on me twice, but you ain't gonna try nothing in front of her because you want her to think it's a done deal. She doesn't realize that an argument means it's over for us. So every time we argue, it's pack and go. And yes, I pack and go because as much as I have packed, you have said get out.